Hello guys, welcome to another SoapUI web service tutorial from rcvacademy.com. In this tutorial, we are going to continue with the Groovy scripting to form our end-to-end test cases. So in last tutorial, we have seen how you can send the request using Groovy script. And now in this particular tutorial, we are going to verify the XML response and see how you can write the verification point in the script itself and form your end-to-end test case. So just to rephrase the last tutorial or the content of the last tutorial, what we have seen is we have seen that how can we run the test or how can we send the SOAP request using the Groovy script. And for that, what class we need? We need WSDL test run context, and you need to import this particular class. So that's required. XML holder was required to get the request, or once you form the XML with populating all the nodes, then XML holder is the class that holds the sample XML request after populating all the nodes. That you can see that we are setting the node values with the values that we have set in the properties, right? And A and B are the variables we have defined to get those properties from the test case level property that we have defined. Now after getting those properties, we are populating those into the nodes, and then we are forming the XML, which is the final XML, and then we are populating this final XML in the request property of our add test step of this particular test case. So this is our Groovy script that we are working on, XML parsing. So which test step we are targeting? So we are targeting test runner, test case, and test step. So basically we are saying we are going to the test case level here, and then we are coming back to the test step, which is the add test step, and we are setting the property value of this add test step request this property to the final XML. Now the next step we learned is to send this particular request. All right, so to send the request, we have the built-in run method which accepts two arguments, test runner and the context. All right, now the context, if you see for this particular script, if you talk about, it's just this script, right? If you just write the context. Now to get the context of add, we have to get to that particular point. All right, so to get the context of add, we have to say we have to go to the test runner dot test case and then test step, right? So we have to go to test runner dot test case dot test step, and that's how we get that particular context, and which you have stored in the variable add request test. And then we have created the object WSDL test run context, where we have provided this particular variable add request test, which holds this particular request, add request, and then that new object we have stored in the variable context add request test step, add request test, which we are passing as a context. Okay, so if you just say context, it will basically just consider the context of this particular script. If you want to change the context to something else, you have to go to that particular request, for example add or multiply. You have to traverse, as we have seen in the previous tutorial, and get the context of that particular request. If you want to run add which is in another regression suite, you follow the same practice of going to the project, going to the test suite, and going to that particular request and form the context, and then just pass test runner and the context that you want to run. So whatever request you want to run, just create a context object and pass that argument in the run method, and that's all you need to run your requests. So these are only the 3 steps you need to send the request through Groovy script, apart from importing the WSDL test run context class. All right, now once you have done, or once you have sent the request, next step is to verify the response, right? So once the request has gone, you need to verify what is the response you are getting. to verify the response, the first thing you have to do is similar stuff. You have to get the property value of the response. How you will get the property value of the response is exactly similar as you set the property value. Just change it to get property value and define a particular variable and put that property in there. So what I'll say is, I'll say add XML response. I've defined a variable wherein I'll store the response of the response XML. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll just say test runner, because this is the test that I am executing here. So I want to store the response property of this request into a variable add XML response. So what I'll do is test runner, so test runner, and then I'll go to the test case, right? Because I need to go to the parent before I can come back to any of the test steps. And then I'll say test steps, and which test step I'm interested in? I'm interested in add test step. All right, and now which property you need to access of this add test step is the response property. Okay, this property. So we are interested in the value of this particular property. So we'll say get property value, and what name we are interested in? Response. Okay, so that's what we are interested in. We'll just say get property value and response, and then we are storing this whole value or the response value that is coming into add XML response. Now we have that particular response in a variable add XML response. Okay, now what is the next step? Next step is to get the node that you want to verify in the response XML. It's similar to the request. So when we access the request, we access the node of the request XML and populated it with the mandatory values that we want to send in the web service. And then in the response, we want to access the node wherein we are getting the response in order to verify that, right? So what will be the next step here? So the next step is to basically parse the response XML, and how we can parse the response XML is through XML holder class. So the XML holder class that we have imported, we have to create a new object of XML holder and pass the argument of this response so that we can parse the nodes of this response. All right. So how we can do it? So we'll just define some add XML response final, and then just say new XML holder and pass the response variable or argument. And this object add XML response final will we can use this object now to get the node values of the response. Okay, now how we can get the node values? We'll say, I'll say response value that we want to verify, and then we can say add XML response final, and then dot get node value. And what value we are interested in? We are interested in, if you just open this add XML response. Now in this response XML, if you see, we are interested in verifying this add result value that we are getting in this add result tag. We are sending two values, A and B, and we want to verify that the sum is okay. Now where does this tag come? So if you see the namespace here, it comes under this XML NS, and that's the namespace. So what we'll do is we'll use the wildcard and directly go to this particular tag. Okay, so how we'll do it? We'll say just add result, and we'll say we'll use the wildcard just to ensure that wherever this add result tag is, we are interested in the value that is coming into this tag, and that's why we have used the wildcard here. Okay, now that's the response value, and this response value is stored in the variable response value. Let's try to run it, and yeah, there is no error. Let me print. Oh yeah, so now you can see that script result, that value has been populated. Okay, we don't need to print it. It's already visible on the pop-up screen. 1335 is the node value that we want to verify. Okay, now what's the next step? Now we have got the final value and we need to verify it. Okay, now to verify the final value, because it's an integer value, we need to convert it into the integer, and similarly these values that we are passing, so by default all these values are passed as string. Now if you try to verify these values straight away, you won't be able to verify because they'll fail. Now in order to verify these values, you first have to convert them to integer. So what we are actually going to do is we want to convert the a and b variables, the values stored in these variables, to integers, so that we can add these in Groovy and then verify with the result value that we are getting. So what we can do is we'll define the int type AA, and then we'll say a dot to integer. We have the method in Groovy to integer to convert the value and store it into the string value to integer. Okay, we'll just copy that and okay. Now I'll show you why we need to convert these into integer. So for example, let me say log.info and then simply add a plus b. Okay, and I'll also say log.info and then add AA plus BB. Let's see what the result is. Okay, you see that? So I'll close this. 567768. That's what the result is for a plus b, which we haven't converted into integer. Okay, and then when we say AA plus BB, the value is 1335. So basically what happens is these values here are stored as string in variable a and b unless until you convert them to integer. And when we say a plus b, because these are strings, so they just concatenate. So when you say a plus b, it's just concatenates unless you say unless you convert these values or the variables into the integer. So these values are now stored as integer into AA and BB variables, integer variables, and then when you do a sum, AA plus BB, they give the correct value as 1335. And now you can actually use AA and BB to verify the response, because the response will be the sum of these values, it won't be the concatenation. Okay, so we have converted A and B to integer. Now what we'll do is we'll also convert the response to integer. Okay, so we'll say final value, or we'll say response final value, and then response value and use to integer. Now response final value is the integer value of this particular response. We have converted it to integer. Now we can use the method assert. Okay, and we'll say final value is equal to AA plus BB. So now what we are doing is we are verifying that the final value that we are getting from this particular tag of the response, if it is equal to the sum of the request values or the tag values that we sent into A and B, or int A and int B of the request nodes, then this should pass. Okay, let's try to run it. And there is no error. That means it has passed successfully. Let me change it to A and B, which is basically the string. We haven't converted these A and B into the integer. So let's see what will happen if we just say A plus B. And you will see that assertion failed error will pop up because the final value is not equal to A plus B, because the final value is 1335. However, the actual value is 567768, which is not correct. And that's what I wanted to explain you here, that we need to convert the string values A and B that we got from the property from the nodes into the integer before we can do the arithmetic operations on these values. Otherwise it will be just strings. The other way you can do is, I'll just comment that, is you can use if else. So what you can do is, if the final response is equal to A plus B, then just print our log.info passed. Otherwise, else log.info failed. Okay, let's try to run it. I'll clear the logs and you can see passed has been printed. If I change it to A plus B, it should print failed. All right, so now it has printed failed because the verification has failed. So that is pretty much all about getting the response XML, how to get the node or the node that you are interested in to verify in the response XML, how to convert the string to integer and then do the arithmetic operations and do the verification in the Groovy script. So this is basically your whole end-to-end test case in Groovy, and I'll make sure I upload this code in Git so that you can download it. I'll clean it up, clean up the code a little bit, and it will be available in the account, so which I'll post later on the channel as well. So hope you liked the video. In the further tutorials, what we'll do is we'll try to form more end-to-end test cases and then understand some of the assertions in SoapUI. Thank you very much for watching.